laying in bed one day and we said, why don't we just sell everything up and go? And we thought, what? Really? Why not? So we did.
So there's got to be something at a deeper level that's missing in our lives. So what is that? And for us, it was connection was missing for us. Like we'd become so disconnected with each other and with ourselves, and we craved that connection, and we had got, the harder we kind of tried to fight for it, the more disconnected we felt.
Welcome back to another episode of Big Lab Chats, and today I have Karen and Vince from Chasing the Civellos. Is that how I say it? Civellos?
Oh, yes, you got it right.
Yay!
Correct.
I've got a thing about getting people's names correct because I think it's important.
Yeah, pronunciation, it's always a bit of a tricky one because obviously it's pronounced, well, you say it in Italian.
Well, Civello.
Civello. Okay.
Yeah.
Chasing the Civellos.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So do you cook good pasta? Or?
I think I do sometimes.
Oh, good one.
He cooks a mean carbonara, I'll give you that.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. So what's your story and how did you get started and how long have you been on the road? And what kicked it all off for you?
Well, we've been on the road 2.5 years.
Right.
And I guess we'd kind of got bogged down in life, weren't loving where we were living, weren't loving our business. COVID had been really good to us, but it meant that because the southwest of WA was locked down, we were super busy, got a bit burnt out. Marriage was definitely in a bit of crisis due to all the stresses. And we thought, let's do a trip. Let's basically sell everything and
pack up and sell everything and let's go. Let's go.
So
and we thought, let's take the gamble. And it's paid off.
Yeah. Didn't really think it through, didn't watch any YouTubers or do much research. We just
laying in bed one day and we said, why don't we just sell everything up and go? And we thought, what? Really? Why not? So we did.
What was the time frame from that conversation to you actually leaving?
I think it was the November or around the November of 2022 that we decided we would basically start looking at motorhomes and put the wheels into action, so to speak. And we then set off in March 2023. So, and in that process, sold the business, bought the motorhome, sold our house, and
sold
all
our furniture,
most of our possessions.
Yep. Bought a sea container, put it on a property, and just got the bare essentials in there.
Well, not even bare essentials. It's really just our prized
possessions, really.
Sentimental stuff. Like we've got, there's no furniture, there's no cars, there's no anything.
Yeah.
And looking back now, how does that feel? And would you do that again? Would you do it all again?
Oh, 10,000%.
Absolutely.
It's actually super liberating. You don't realise how much stuff you have in your life until you start getting rid of it. And it's actually really liberating to just get rid of all that stuff because it's just noise. And it doesn't, we've been pretty successful in businesses, not just the business we have now, but in our 2 previous businesses. And so we had lots of stuff. Seriously, like it actually doesn't make you any happier to have a pizza oven. It doesn't make you any happier to have a fully equipped gym. It doesn't make you any happier to have 5 acres, like, and all the trimmings that come with that. It just, and I think it took getting rid of it all to really realize that. And I still remember a conversation that we had with a lady who had come to one of our garage sales, and she was like, oh my God, you're selling all your stuff. Like, God, that's got to be really super scary. And it's like, well, actually, it's really liberating. And you can always buy a new couch. You can always buy a new fridge. We can always buy a new house if we decide that we're going to settle down.
And the thing is, when we go back to the container, we see the stuff's in there. We thought just the minimal stuff. We think, we don't even need this.
For sure.
Yeah.
Every now and again, I think, because I think we've only got about 12 boxes, like the THS contain, like that size.
Yeah.
And I think it's just sentimental things, but I do know.
Yes.
I think, I've got that dress in there and I've got those shoes. I don't think I'll ever wear them again.
No.
But
Totally.
it really is just stuff. And I think We're kind of programmed to like get the latest phone and buy the newest fridge, and like you say, it is
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
100%. Yeah. And I think there's got to be some, when you look at hoarding, for instance, and I know that's obviously a psychological disorder, but if you look at that on a lesser scale, we're obviously, as human beings, we're filling our lives with stuff. So there's got to be something at a deeper level that's missing in our lives. So what is that? And for us, it was connection was missing for us. Like we'd become so disconnected with each other and with ourselves, and we craved that connection, and we had got, the harder we kind of tried to fight for it, the more disconnected we felt. And so we had to just get rid of the distractions, and that's why we sold the business and we sold our house and got rid of those possessions. And now when you're left with kind of, I guess, the bare essentials and it's stripped back, there's that real opportunity to become connected to so much more than stuff.
So what did you end up purchasing? What is your setup?
We got a 2007 Monte Carlo. It's a Sunliner. It's kind of the equivalent of a Winnebago.
Okay.
So she's a 9 metre 40. And it's got all separate living spaces. One of the things that I think that we were not in our 20s. I mean, we're young slow mads, but we're not in our 20s, so we didn't want to be climbing up in rooftop tents and stuff like that. We did want comfort, so we bought probably the biggest freaking motorhome that we could find, and it's got separate living apartment, like dual zone, like there's a separate kitchen, the toilet, the shower, it's all separate, and it's like a small apartment.
Nice.
And we tow a little Suzuki Vitara behind us so that we can go to places that are a little bit more remote when we can't get to those places in the motorhome.
Do you think you will settle down at some stage, and do you think that will be in your home state again? WA is your home state, isn't it?
It is a home state. We've talked about it, but at this stage, there's no indication of us slowing down or actually buying a home and like that. We're just enjoying what we're doing. And once that stops, or we feel that we want to buy a home or whatever, or property, we'll do that. But at this stage, we've got no intentions of slowing. We're just enjoying life too much and travelling and meeting people. It's just awesome.
Quite a contrast from, say, 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
Totally.
Just working and working and working, just in the business. And I was still in mine at the time and doing a week on and week off and coming home and then helping out the business. And that's it. But all we're doing was just working. That's what we're doing, work. And there was no time for each other or anything like that. That's why we decided we're just going to pull the pin, give it a go and haven't looked back.
Yeah, cool. That's great. Great story. What's one of the... God, I always trip over this question and I don't know why. What's the one thing most lappers overlook that could make or break their entire journey, do you think?
Oh, gosh, good question. I think it's getting wrapped up in what everyone else is doing. You've either got to have the biggest or best setup, or that you've got to be an influencer or a content creator, or you've got to wait until the kids have grown up, or you've got enough money. And I think a lot of it comes down to people's fears, because as human beings, we all are fearful at different times for different reasons, and some fears are warranted and others not so much. And often what we found is that often what we're fearful of actually never eventuates, mostly, except in our minds. And so I don't think there's ever a perfect time, and there's never a perfect way to travel. You could be in a rooftop tent and that might be amazing for you. You might be in a big Chevy Silverado with an amazing off-road caravan. That might be perfect for you. I think also too is that when the timing of your travel, like you've just got to do what's right for you. And I think it's really easy to be watching all these YouTube videos and YouTubers and let's be real, there is probably a handful of people out there that have made it big in that kind of influencer, travel, content creator kind of sphere, but not everyone is going to make it like that, and that's okay. And I think it's really important just to focus on your own journey and when that's right for you and how that looks for you, as opposed to kind of needing to be doing what everyone else is doing and when they're doing it and how they're doing it.
There's two sides of social media, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely.
There's the good and the bad side. And I think another thing is that not everybody is out there taking photos for Instagram either.
100%.
So
and look, social media has its benefits in that it can really connect people. Like the majority of travellers that we've met online, that's how we've met them, through mediums like Instagram, as opposed to kind of just rocking up and having a chat at a campsite. The majority of people that we've met online, and then we've gone, well, hey, you guys sound like really cool people. Do you want to go and catch up? It was like last week we did catch up with Bob and Jen from Travelling Oz our way, and great people. So we spent their 41st wedding anniversary with them. So I guess that's one they won't forget in a while.
No.
So I think it is easy to get wrapped up and be fearful of, oh gosh, I don't have the right setup, or I can't go because I'm not going to have enough money, or
because there are people travelling around Australia in a tent. So.
Totally, absolutely. And if it works for you, I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't work for us personally, but that doesn't mean it's not
good.
Because I could imagine, like, if you were in your 20s, it would be incredible to be doing that.
I'd love to be doing that, yeah.
We're just older and want a lot more comfort.
I hear. What's your secret to finding the most breathtaking yet completely under the radar destinations?
Oh, look, I think it's taking the roads less travelled. When we set off, we kind of put together a bit of a bucket list of things that we kind of thought we would like to do and places that we'd like to see, but most of them aren't overly popular. Like, so, you know, I mean, I was very fortunate to grow up with my father being National Park Ranger, so I've pretty much seen and lived in every national park in Western Australia, but those places, Ningaloo it's incredible, Jeannie, amazing, Gibb River, insane landscapes, but they're also really busy. And I think a lot of the places that we've come across that we really loved have been on the roads less travelled, the ones that we've kind of come across that there's virtually no one there, and they're our favourite spots. I'm not sure whether that's because there's no one there, or they're just, I don't know, there's just something about, and it's not that we haven't been to some of the popular destinations, we have, and we will, but I think our favourites are more the roads less travelled.
What have you ticked off your bucket list that comes to mind that you've really enjoyed?
Well, did you want to?
You go first.
Well, for me, I had always, for as long as I can remember, wanted to drink Shiraz in the Barossa. And, you know,
as you did.
And so I think I drank my weight in Shiraz.
Because
we stayed at, oh gosh, yes. We stayed 8 weeks in the Barossa, and I did also say, because I'm actually a qualified chef by trade, that I wanted to meet Maggie Beer, and as it turned out, we were fortunate enough to end up working for her, and Vince was actually her personal gardener, and I started in her daughter's restaurant, the eatery, and then moved over to the farmhouse, did a bit of work there, but then I ended up working on a much bigger project for them over the 8 weeks we were there, and it was incredible. I did shark cage diving in Port Lincoln. That was really cool.
Yeah. And
ate oysters and sipped champagne in Coffin Bay. I mean, they're probably, for me, those are probably the highlights.
Yeah.
I think for me, I've always wanted to go on a paddle boat.
Oh, yeah.
Ever since I was a little boy.
Yeah.
And always, and that CCR song, you know,
Credence,
Credence, you know, Proud Mary, always stuck in my mind, and always wanted to do that. I think, but for me, is when you say a bucket list, is actually hopping in the driver's seat, and that is my bucket list. Just driving to destinations. And when people say I've got all these bucket lists, to me, that's my bucket list. Actually, hopping in the driver's seat and just going to different places, different destinations. That for me is a big highlight.
Well, the trip or the indefinite travel is Vince's bucket list. When we got together, we spoke about the things that we wanted to do, and I had always wanted to run a wellness retreat, which we did, and Vince had always wanted to travel around in a caravan around Australia, and so we're doing that.
We're doing that
It's
now.
just in a motorhome.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And have you come across some good free camps on your travels? What's your faves that you've come across?
Oh, gosh, so many.
So many of them.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Annette from Big Lab Chats. Want the inside scoop on where our guests free camp? You'll only hear it in the extended cut inside the BLC crew. Jump in now at blccrew.allaroundoz.com.au or hit the link in the show notes. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Absolutely. Just some of the nice little spots you sort of go right in and just find little spots away from everyone. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Light a fire when it's fire season and just sit around the little campfire and put your camp oven in and spend a few 2-3 nights there. It's beautiful.
You know, and the silence and the lack of light pollution, that's just, that's incredible.
No, we enjoy that.
Yeah, that peace.
Oh,
absolutely.
totally.
Absolutely. And don't get us wrong, we do love people, but it's great to have your own space. It's supposed to have your own space. Look, I love going into campsites or whatever and just talking to people. I think sometimes I'm probably a nuisance, but I just love hearing people's stories. Just you have a bit of a chat, or we go for a fish or something on a jetty and you just start talking to people.
Yes, if we ever pull up to a campsite and I can't find him, I just go and check out the van next door, and he's usually there.
Just hear people's travels, their stories. It's great.
Yeah, because we've all got our own story, haven't we? How we got started,
absolutely.
all that.
Absolutely. And I think that is the common thread that brings everyone together,
for sure.
even if it looks a little bit different for everyone.
What are the 3 biggest money-saving hacks that every lapper needs to know before they leave?
Oh, well, free camping is definitely
a big one.
A big one. We've not spent hardly any money in campsites. The only real time that we do is if we stay at a caravan park, if we want to be in a scenario where we want the van to be safe and our cat goji to have aircon. Slow travel is definitely a big thing. We've never been because obviously when most lappers do a lap, they've got an itinerary, they've got a budget and it's a time frame, and we've not got any of that. And so we tend to slow travel. We might maybe do 200 or 300 kilometres a day. And when we're at a place, we will often stay for weeks or months. Like I said, we were in the Barossa for 8 weeks. We're in Margaret River here, or Witchcliff. We've been here since July. And we were in Beaumont working on a farm for 4 months prior to that. So we tend to stop and immerse ourselves in the community and slow down. So you're obviously not spending as much money in diesel. If you're working, then you're making money.
And most times when you are working at places, everything's supplied for you. We still live in our own motorhome, and that sometimes we're offered accommodation, but we're just living in our motorhome. Yeah. But you have your water and power, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and if it's a work gig like for seeding or harvest, we generally have food.
All your meals supplied.
Like all our meals supplied. And I guess the third one in terms of like money saving tips would probably be that it is making your own food. I mean, we do have a bakery fund because you have to have a bakery reconnaissance fund. However, more day to day, we tend to make our own breakfast, make our own lunch, take snacks, have a soda stream. So we've got our own water and stuff like that, because it becomes really costly when you're buying a $9 bottle of water at a service station. It becomes very costly if you're buying a $10 coffee at a petrol station. And it's not that we don't do it, but we limit it. And if we know we're going to have a longer travel day, for instance, we'll pack boiled eggs or muesli bars. We'll make a wrap or a sandwich, and we do a lot of cooking ourselves. It's not to say we don't eat out. We do a lot of cooking ourselves, and that can really add up if you're always eating out and always buying those snacks and stuff that you could easily make yourself.
Yeah,
it becomes very costly.
Yeah, those little things add up, don't they?
Absolutely.
Totally. I mean, we were just on a train recently, and when we got to the station, I was absolutely famished. And it was one time that we just, because we had travelled from Margaret River to Perth, and just hadn't had time to do anything. And I went to get a bacon and egg sandwich, and I mean, it tasted like it was a week old for a start, but it was like $14. And so if you're doing that twice a day for two of you, that becomes very costly. And that's just breakfast. You haven't even eaten lunch or dinner or had your coffees outside of that.
And if you've got family with you, that's
$100
before you even blink, hey? And it's only breakfast.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it doesn't get you much either.
No, not How do you, because I know you're active on socials and so forth. How do you stay connected and productive on the road without sacrificing the adventure?
Well, we try to make a balance of it. Like, we don't have YouTube, not getting it anytime soon, don't have TikTok, active on Instagram, and we do have a Facebook page, but really that was because we have friends that didn't have Instagram. We've got FaceTime for friends, we've got telephone, we've managed to get by even with all the work that we do remotely without needing Starlink. And like Vince said, often when we're at a work gig, we might get free Wi-Fi anyway. So if we're not hotspotting our phones, we've got connection that way. And then when you do have your work gig, you're meeting people. And then obviously when you go to campsites, old mate here's chatting to people. And obviously then there's the time for ourselves and connecting with each other as well. We really try to balance that out. Our life isn't about trying to become or being social media personalities at all. That is not what our life is about. So much of our life actually isn't social media. In fact, like when I think about the last 4 months, we've been posting, but that's posts from 6 months ago. It's not actually what we've been doing in the last 4 months. I think it's about balance.
Agree. What's one tip that saved you bacon on the road that you rarely see shared online?
One tip that you saved your bacon? Oh, good question. Can that be in any kind of scenario, like as in a mechanical scenario or
whatever you like?
Oh gosh.
Oh, well,
that's a good question.
Good question. You got us there.
I think for me, having a husband that actually has a lot of patience and is happy to clean the shitter and drive.
Yep, nothing wrong with
that. Because often when things go wrong, I have a short fuse. I'm Karen after all, so I can go to 0 to 100 quite quickly. I can also go from 100 to 0 very quickly as well. So in a particular moment, I might lose my proverbial what, but I can come back from that pretty quickly as well. Whereas Vince has got much more patience. One example was when we were in Fowler's Bay, and we thought we would go, and there's 2 entrances, and the first entrance is unsealed, and we thought, no, we're not taking the motorhome down there. And then the second entrance was sealed, and so we thought, oh yeah, we'll go down that way. And we were towing the Vitara, and as it turned out, it ended up not being sealed. And we got a little bit up the road and we realised we're probably not going to be able to take this motorhome much further. And so we decided to turn around, and I said to Vince, do you think you can get around? And he said, yeah, I think so. But I think in the back of his mind, he thought maybe we couldn't.
I guess my better judgment, and driving heavy vehicles most of my life, just as I turned the steering wheel was in sand, just as I turned, I said to myself, you idiot. And just as I did that, we had the Vitara on the back.
So we're skull dragging the Vitara.
It, and I thought, I shouldn't have done that. It was one of the rarest things that I've ever done.
I guess the irony of that story is that normally it would be me that's losing whereas I was actually really calm, and it was Vince that was losing his
I just thought I should never have done that. Never have done so. As it was, she was the calm one. She calmed me down, and we unhitched and pulled the bus around and hitched up again, and off we go. And then we just started laughing about it.
So having a sense of humour.
Got to have a sense of humour.
In addition to having someone that will empty the shitter and drive, I think is important. Definitely having a sense of humour. But I think that's life in general, isn't it?
Yeah. And a lot of patience as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's really important, like when stuff happens, because look, let's face it, stuff is going to happen whether you're on the road or you're living in a bricks and mortar home. And I think it's really important to, when stuff does go a bit pear-shaped, or what you perceive to be pear-shaped, rather than be sort of asking, well, why is this happening to me? Be asking, what is my learning? What is my lesson in this? And so when you look at it that way, it becomes less daunting. And then if you can see a lesson in something, then it's a win, because it's like, well, obviously in the scenario that we just described in Fowler's Bay, I think first and foremost, the lesson is don't second guess yourself.
Yeah.
And I think too, when things do happen, I always look at the thing that there's someone out there worse off than what we are here. What's happened? And that's why I look at it and I think it's happened. It's not the end of the world. Get on with it. Have a bit of a joke. Have a laugh and carry on.
Yeah, and I think often most have solutions. So if you've got a problem, whatever that is, a flat tire or a wheel bearing's gone or your cargo box drops off like it did to us in Queensland, you find a solution. And so if you find a solution, then there's no problem. So then it's like, well, what were we stressed about in the first place?
And all those incidents make for great stories around a campfire anyway, don't they?
Absolutely.
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You can laugh about it later.
Oh, yeah.
The Bruce Highway certainly bruised the cargo box.
That's about all the questions I have for you today. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
The only thing I can say is people often ask us, you've solved everything, you're doing this, and how are you going to live? What are you going to do if you pull up? We just say to people, if you want to do it, don't do it when you say you're going to retire and then you're 70 or 80 years old and you think, oh, this is what I'm going to do, because you won't be able to get yourself in a vehicle or whatever. You might have your back or your knees or whatever. Just do it. And like we keep saying, there's so much work on the road if you want to work. Yeah. If you're not fussy, there is so much work on the road. Honestly, you can do whatever you want. Like I say, we're living life and you can do it. Not a problem at all. But people just always say, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this when I retire. Don't do it when you retire.
Or when the kids get older, or when we've got enough money, or when we sell our house. I don't think there'll ever be a right time. And that's, it's kind of what I alluded to earlier. I think you've just got to do what's right for you when it's right, with what you've got in that very moment. And
look, it doesn't mean that, like we did, you've got to sell your home or do this, rent your home out or get someone to live in it. But you can do it. If you want to do it, just hop in and go and do it.
And I think that's with anything in life, if you have a goal, or I don't like to call them dreams, because I like to think that dreams are things that probably don't ever come true, whereas a goal, if you set it and it's realistic, you can actually make it happen. And so often if a goal is realistic and achievable and you want it badly enough, you will make it happen. You will make it happen. And for us, getting the connection and the travel, we needed to make that happen.
And so I think we did. For us too, because we still love to work. You just can't sit down all day and just sit down back and have a coffee or drink. We still love working. A few months of the year, we still love to work, do things, keep active, and we still do that. We enjoy doing it. When the time comes we don't want to do that, we'll obviously do something else. Just do it. That's all we can say. Just do it. Give it a go.
It's all about designing your own life, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
100%.
Falling into that trap that we have all fallen into, where you just work.
Absolutely.
And that's why we decided, when we sat in bed that day, let's just do it. And we did it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, great story.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for joining me today. Really.
Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. No, that was great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hopefully we might meet you around an actual campfire at some point.
Yes. Well, we're definitely heading down your way.
Oh, fantastic. We have to reach out, definitely.
Yeah, Mark's is on our list.